Dave Farley recently made a post about vibe coding, and I just had to react to that one. I'm usually not the type that does that, but I just had that urge that I can't stay silent on this one, even if I'm going to get a lot of flack. But it's so important in my opinion, and although I think he's absolutely right, I also think he's totally missing the point. Let me explain. As David points out, vibe coding as a term was coined by Andrew Karpathy in a tweet in February. No idea how tweets are called nowadays, but you guys know what I mean. A message on X, formerly known Twitter. Karpathy, who, for the ones of you who don't know, is one of the most influential people in the AI world, bubble, however you want to call it. He basically helped shape OpenAI to be what it is right now. I think it is safe to say that OpenAI wouldn't exist in the way it does as such a dominant force without him. I'm saying that to make clear that this is not some random dude on the internet tweeting or texting. That sounded wrong. Tweeting about his life. There's some weight to what he does. Anyways, what he proclaimed was that there is this thing when you create something with AI coding without ever, and this is important, looking at the code. He describes how he basically goes with the flow and doesn't actually care about the code that gets generated, but about the result itself. And this is the point that rubs especially software engineers and software architects the wrong way, I guess. I mean, I'm one of them. I belong to this category, and I know people that just hate using libraries because it means giving up control. It is to some extent part of the DNA of many of us. Coming from this angle, vibe coding is like the antichrist of software engineering. And they are absolutely right. I'm not disputing this. When I want something done right, something for production, something with privacy and security in mind, vibe coding would be the last thing on earth I would recommend. And just to be clear, I'm not talking about AI-aided coding. I'm talking about creating software without ever looking at the code it produces. That would be insanity. We've come a long way with AI coding, but it's not as reliable to replace an experienced senior engineer right now. This might change, but it is not there yet. We do see very impressive one-shot examples of whole games being developed that would take a human developer weeks or even months. However, these are solutions to a common and well-understood problem domain. Let's take the Minecraft example. There are thousands of references on how Minecraft works, what are the quirks, how it looks like, and so on. The LLM could easily pick up lots of knowledge about Minecraft that it just has to regurgitate to recreate it. Still impressive, don't get me wrong, but not what your usual problem is. Usually you start with an idea and you have to figure out parallels to others and extrapolate or even come up with something completely new. In short, your problem is, hopefully, in most cases, not to simply copy an existing solution. Also, we are not one-shotting our applications. We iteratively enhance, enrich them over time, and this is where the actual craft comes into play. It's finding the balance between efficiency, modularity, expandability, and other non-functional features. Figuring out what is the essence that is needed, delivering exactly that while still being able to expand the scope of the software while not getting slower or breaking existing integrations along the way. Right now, in a sufficiently complex project, AI won't stand a chance and you end up with an unmaintainable mess. So on this one, I'm absolutely with Dave Farley. However, there's something new, something that is now possible, which was just unthinkable in the past. A new opportunity. I would even go so far as to say a shift in our industry as a whole. I think vibe coding is just perfect for requirements engineering. Just think about it. Your product manager, UI, UX expert can vibe code the new feature and not just describe it, but actually show it. And by show, I'm not just referring to the visual UI aspect of it, but the behavior and the actual consumer perspective. And just to throw it in here, with vibe coding, I mean the original reference by Karpathy, but I won't hold it against you if you look at the code. The vibe coding aspect in particular makes this accessible for non-technical people, and this is the opportunity shift. I'm not dogmatic on this one. In contrast to tabs versus spaces, there's just one right answer, you know that. Anyway, validating the viability of a new feature suddenly becomes so much easier to verify. You could simply code the feature, bring it in front of potential customers, and receive instant feedback if this is working or not. Talking about shift left, this is just amazing. And even better, it doesn't stop there. Once you have a prototype running, it becomes way easier to describe it and reference it for actual development. Software engineers could now experience what the behavior should look like, not dozens of spec documents describing each and every single behavioral detail. It's a new mantra. It's show, don't tell. I can't remember how many times after the test phase that we noticed that the behavior didn't meet the expectations. The reason? It wasn't the fault of the developer, not the fault of the quality engineer, and not the fault of the product manager. The specification was just too ambiguous and left too much room for interpretation. This could easily happen because for all parties involved, the expectation was clear and they had their respective truth. But after the implementation was done, they realized there was room for interpretation and they indeed were not aligned. Now, please do not assume I am saying we no longer need specs. We do, and they become even more important. But the chance of misunderstandings shrink, and we might be able to reduce the amount by being more precise. If the specs are becoming the source of feature representations used for demo apps via vibe coding, maybe they are getting into a shape that makes them more precise and more concise, or just more vetted. I think there's a great potential for our profession to deliver better products in a shorter amount of time. And I just can't stop thinking about it. Maybe this is the ultimate productivity gain we can achieve from using AI. In my opinion, every product manager or everyone in general that is involved with shaping the software to match customer needs should make him or herself familiar with vibe coding. I know that this won't work for all industries or software stacks yet, but if it does, it'll be crucial very soon. In the area of LLMs, I think someone with a clear vision and the capability to express that vision regarding the future of said software will be crucial. AI could help with throwing in options or how to get there. But the visionary driver, that just can't be an LLM, at least not yet. I also know that we are more faced with the demo software fallacy, where mostly higher ups, I would say, assume that just because there's a demo that illustrates the core feature, the production version is basically a few lines of cleanup code anyway. Ridiculous, I know, but a real threat. I think it is with everything. With great power comes great responsibility. People are already selling vibe coding as a way for average Joe to create software. And I think this is really dangerous. There are so many things that could go wrong. And I think to some extent, this is preying on the weak. Not because they are dumb, not at all. I think they are misled into believing a shortcut, and we as a species are very susceptible to that. There's also that thing called the Dunning-Kruger effect that further emphasizes this. So to conclude the video, I think Dave Farley made a valid point by stating that AI can't replace a software engineer or the profession with its tools as such. And what comes out of something generated via vibe coding will, at least right now, be inferior. However, he completely missed the great opportunity that presents itself for us, being able to short circuit the feedback loop from idea to customer validation and providing along the way something that simplifies the development process and has the potential to reduce effort at the same time. Also, I vibe coded now a couple of tools I use on a regular basis. They save me so much time I can now spend elsewhere. These are more simplifiers of mundane or time-intensive task. Nothing I would previously have considered addressing with software due to the overhead. But now I could do something between meetings that saves me a lot of time in the long run. I don't have the same expectations on code quality, maintainability, or even expandability here. If I need something new, I just let the LLM solve it for me. There's no need to keep old versions, notify third parties, think about sunsetting timelines. It's all about having the right tool for the right job. You know, the hammer and the nail issue. In the future, we might just only describe what our interfaces are and what are the expected behaviors. When being faced with issues, the LLMs will solve the issues while maintaining interface compatibility. No need to ever touch code again, but this is still a very, very long way from where we are right now. Okay, that's it. You made it. I just had to get that out of my system. A bit different from my usual content. Let me know what you think about it. But please be civil, right? If you like my ramblings, leave a like or even consider subscribing. Use the bell icon if you want to get notified about new uploads. Till then, servus.